Haha! Hey guys! Alright, I haven't done one of these videos in a bit. So, story time! I'm gonna try and make this video, guys, and show you that, it's flooding right now. It just rained a whole bunch. And apparently, there's a problem with trash here. And I had never heard of this before, but there's too much trash, so when it rains, the drainage gets blocked. And so if a big drainage area gets blocked, then all the streets start flooding because the water has nowhere to go, right? And so it was literally just, it was sunny earlier, right? And there's some clear sky, it's kind of clearing up now. But we were going to the mall, or not the mall, the market to get some like vegetables, right? And on the way walking there, I saw a lake and I was like, huh, do they ever have problems with flooding here? And then the person I was with was like, nah, no, not really. And then, we just went about our day, went to the market, got our stuff, got in a taxi, yada yada, did some other errands, did some laundry, got some other things. And then, so you can see, this normally is just like a little stream. You can see it's like crazy, yeah? Absolutely crazy. So we did our errands, and then we get in a taxi, and it starts raining really heavily, like to the point where the cars kind of stop moving. We're like, all right, okay, just a rainstorm. And then we're like in the car, it's not moving very much, for like 15, 20 minutes. And then we get to pull into our neighborhood, which is literally the end of the street here. And it's gonna be flooded, I think, by the time I get there, we'll see. And then the taxi is pretty much just suddenly so deep in water that water is coming into the taxi. Like, we were just like, holy shit. And so then the taxi driver drove up a hill, but at that point I think there'd been cars are not meant to be underwater. As soon as water gets into a car's exhaust system and all that, it gets fucked. So the car started smoking and then it stopped working. So we got out of the taxi, but then at that point we were in front of this road that had just the road crossed into a ditch. And we had to go through the water, but we didn't want to wade through the current, because it's really important not to get in the water when it's flooding, because it's really, really easy to underestimate how strong the current is. And there's also a lot of, there's also a whole lot of debris and other such things. So we're gonna see in a moment. I'm almost to the part where we had to turn because we couldn't make it. So I'll see if it's still underwater. Enough time has passed now that it might not be, but you can tell just by the road, all this debris. It's crazy. Moment of truth. Here's the road. So this is the road that we were gonna turn onto, but we weren't able to because the water was too deep and people were standing on the edges of everything. But I think most of the rain has stopped at this point, so maybe the flooding has stopped as well. So you can see there's some cars over there. We'll go see, normally I try not to have my phone out, but I think that people are distracted enough right now that it's probably not gonna matter. There's a bunch of security guards, so. Cool. Well, that was interesting. So my Spanish, I can kind of understand what people are talking about. I pick up keywords. We were listening to the radio, and we live in Santo Domingo. And they were I kept hearing, Santo Domingo, over and over and over again. And the radio was just saying oh yeah, it's fucked there. There's trash blocking the thing, and so everything's flooding. It's crazy. And see, you can see there's more people here, right? A lot of attention. Yeah, most of the water's died down, I can already tell. Yeah, the cars are just coming through fine now. So because the rain kind of stopped, you know, so most of the deep water is gone at this point. But there's a lot of cars that are like on the side of the road because they stopped working. All that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna walk a little bit closer and then you'll see. Hola! So I'm holding the phone differently, so I'm a bit less conspicuous. But yeah, so you can see that, you know, there's obviously too much water here. But this isn't enough to like actually stop the cars. Okay, when earlier I would be underwater right now. Like you see where those cars are? Like the taxi was half submerged. Like the kind of submerged where if it had stayed like that, the car would have really quickly just stopped working completely. And so I can show you an example of why this happens in a second. I just gotta walk over here. Okay. I don't want to, there's like a hole here, so I'm trying not to fall in. Hola. Hola. Okay, so here you can see, oh sorry, I was just showing you my hand. That's what happens. So this is a drainage area, right? This is actually like, if I wish I had a reference to it before the water, but this is like all that trash, it gets caught in the drainage and then it blocks it, and so then all of this overflows and floods, right? Because there's more water coming in than is able to actually escape. But everything's kind of back to normal now, so it's okay. I'm saying hello to those construction workers up there. Alright, sweet. So now I'm going to try and make it back. Oh, I fell in the hole. Whoops. Yeah. Oh, my foot. Ah. Alright guys. I'm just gonna walk around like this for a little bit more. Hey, that kid's recording me. Sweet. Not sure how people feel about being recorded here. Especially because I'm a gringo, so I gather a lot of attention just by walking normally, let alone just walking around. Like there's so few gringos here, except they don't even call us gringos. They call us what's the word? Chile. It sounds like chili, like Chile, Chile. I'm not sure if it's a derogatory mark or anything, but there's like some guards over there. Well, today's been eventful, that's for sure. Everything's calming down now. But this is what happens when it rains extra hard for like 20 minutes. It's not like it was raining for like hours. Like I said, I was in a taxi and the rain didn't even start until like 10 minutes into the taxi ride, and it was only like 25 minutes in the taxi because there was so much traffic, but it was just so sudden and so strong. I think what people call it's like a flash flood, right? So it's when there's too much rain suddenly, you know, as opposed to kind of regular flooding, which is from a lot of rain over a period of time, or from like a hurricane that pushes water up into rivers and that kind of thing. So now we're just going back to where I live, which is down here. It's pretty. I'm trying to learn to hold my camera more steady. I need to learn to get a GoPro. These are pretty plants, aren't they? I think they're pretty cool. No arrojar basura. Huh. I understand why now. Arroja, I think, is like throw? I'm not sure. No throwing trash. No dumping trash. Crazy. Hey, drywall. I didn't even know they used that here. Yeah, it's interesting. Most of the buildings here, you don't have to, like, in the States, you have to worry about, like, winter and insulation and that kind of thing. So building, like, a home is more complicated, but here it's very simple. Hola! Because here you just need a roof and, like, cement walls. So you don't see, like, drywall and a lot of other things very often. There's not as many, like, permits, if that makes sense. Cool. Trying to weird these people out. I live in between two schools, right? So there's this school, Colegio Hispano Nicaraguense. I don't know, my accent's horrible. It's a bit better now. Hola! But it's pretty normal now. I mean, you can definitely tell that, like, so earlier, this part was probably underwater as well, because, like, you can tell by all this mud. Like, this mud isn't normally here. Notre Dame School. That's where we tell everybody if we're lost, we're like, oh, taxi de Notre Dame. Because if we tell them Santo Domingo, it's like the wealthiest neighborhood in Nicaragua. So, wow. I'll show you guys this again. Look at that. It's like chocolate milk. Freaking crazy. It's like a machine. Man, imagine falling in that. It's insane. A coconut! Yo, there's like 4 coconuts in there! That's crazy! Wow! You see the coconuts? I see 1, 2, 3. Look at that, so powerful. And this is just afterwards. I can't even imagine what it looked like when it was actually like freshly flooding. Look, coconut. Loud. Ah, mud everywhere. Look at this. So all of this flooded before I got here. I mean, it's crazy. So this whole thing was flooding. Well, I'm sure I'm gonna get to see what that looks like next time, hey? And here's where we live. So this area, I mean, even in regular rain, this little part of the street floods right here. But it doesn't, I mean, it's not like a current, you know? It's just kind of where some water accumulates, so it's not really that big of a deal. Well, yeah, and look, they're building something and, you know, rain stops, so they're just back to work. Regular day. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.